Okay, so I've opened Photoshop, but before I get started, I would like to show that I've also created a folder on my desktop named Fruget Photoshop, and I have copied my images into this folder, the images that I'm going to use for this assignment, for this project. So I'm going to go back to Photoshop, and to get started, I'm going to go File, Open, and I'm going to open my image of my place, which is a city street. I'm going to double click on it, and now it's open in Photoshop, and it's got one layer. This is the layers palette over here. It has one layer, but we can't work with it yet. It's not a real layer. It's locked, and it's called background. So let's click on the word background, double click on the word background. Now it says layer 0 here in this window. I'm going to rename that to city street. It's always a good idea to name your layers, because once you have a lot of them in there, it will help you switch between them and keep track of what layer you're on, or know which layer you're selecting. So I've got my place in there, and let's look at the image size of this image now that we've got it open. And to look at image size, go to up to image size. It says here it is 5,760 pixels by 3,840 pixels. That is plenty big for us to work with. Just as quick for a reference, if I wanted to print this at 8 by 10, say 10 inches wide, that's 576 dots per inch. That's great. That's more than we need. But we're going to leave it at the size it is and work with it like it is. So I'm going to bring in more layers now. I'm going to go back to File, Open, and I'm going to select the Raven photo. That opens it in a new document, and that's one way to do it. I could then take this image and drag it to the tab of my other document and let go, and it will bring it in. That's one way to bring it in. Or I could have gone to my folder and dragged it directly from the folder into an empty space here at the top, and then dragged it in. I'm going to delete that layer. Okay. We've got our second layer in here. You see it automatically puts in the new layer in our layers palette. I'm going to double click and rename this Raven. And then I'm going to bring in my other images. And then I'm going to click, drag over here, and let go. That one is arms. And we'll go File, Open again. Open my leg photo. Click and drag to my first document. Name this one Legs. I'm going to File, Open my T-Rex. Click and drag. Oops. Double click on the word itself. T-Rex. Now I'm going to save this document as something new. I'm going to do a File, Save As. I'm going to go to my desktop folder. I'm going to save this as a PSD, a Photoshop document. Okay? It's very important that you save it as a PSD so you can continue to work with it. I'm going to rename it Photoshop Collage and hit Save. Hit OK. Maximize cut. And now I've got that. I'm going to close out these other windows because I don't need them anymore by clicking this little X. 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 Now I've got my document with all my layers. It's saved as a Photoshop document. And we can move on from there.